Just east of Dingle lies the village of Annascaul, which was made famous by the Antarctic explorer Tom Crean, who opened up a pub here, appropriately named the South Pole Inn. Now, just up the road is another man who has put Annascaul on the map, Thomas Ash, and he makes a delicious black pudding, one of the finest in the country, and I'm here to meet him. Hello. Hello. Hope you don't mind I've made my own way in.
Clodagh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Annascaul. It's my wife Eileen.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
You were just in time for breakfast if you'd like some.
I'm starving. I'd love it. Oh. Is it Annascaul Black Pudding or Ash's Black Pudding?
It's actually Ash's Annascaul Black Pudding.
Okay. How did it start?
My father's uncle came back from America and he opened a shop up the road there in 1916. And as far back as my father remembers, there was always pudding made there. So as far as we're concerned, it was started in 1916. So my mother and father took over then in the 50s, I think.
Oh, thanks, Eileen.
Thanks very much.
That looks beautiful.
And they continued with the same pudding. It was black pudding all along, and so in the last couple of years then we started doing a bit of white pudding and some sausages as well.
Whose recipe is it?
It's actually a recipe belonged to my granduncle and his wife, Ellen, who was an American lady. So we don't know the origin of it. At the time, every house would have made pudding, maybe a couple of times a year if they killed a pig or whatever, you know, they would have used the blood and they would have shared it with the neighbours. And so the recipes probably were all something similar. And I suppose something different about the pudding here is the shape of it. We make it in cakes and we just cut it into smaller squares then and we sell it like that. And the texture is also quite different in that. It's very smooth, you know, it doesn't break apart. There's no pinhead oatmeal or anything like that, and so it's smooth, it's almost like pate.
There aren't many foods around Ireland that I haven't tasted, but I can honestly say I have never actually tasted this black pudding, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Now's your chance.
Fantastic. Silky smooth.
Yeah.
The difference between this black pudding and, you know, an industrially made black pudding, they're just worlds apart.
It's the ingredients, I suppose, is the biggest difference. It's a mixture of spices and herbs, pepper, salt.
You could have this for your dinner. That's not just breakfast. You could have this for your...
It's actually a whole meal, really.
Yeah. What are your favourite ways to cook it?
The frying pan, the grill. You can actually barbecue it. It's nice with chutney. You can actually have it cold. You can spread it on your brown bread. It's actually a cooked product. You can do it with some phyllo pastry, with some apple or pear. There's lots of different ways you can do it. It's a very versatile product. I'd
love to take out some of the mystique about black pudding because a lot of people don't know, including me, exactly how it's made. I'd love to see it being made, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
And actually, when we finish here, I'm going to go up to the workshop and you're more than welcome to come up and I'll show you all the ingredients and how it's made and everything else. This is our main ingredient in the black pudding. It's fresh beef blood that comes from our own abattoir. Okay?
Great.
So, we'll pour that in. And we always use fresh blood, by the way.
Which is the biggest difference between your pudding and anybody else's, or the commercially made puddings, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what else goes in?
Next, I suppose, onions are the next main ingredient. So these are actually minced onions, okay? Because
they haven't been cooked, they're raw?
No, they're raw, and they're more than chopped, they're minced, because we have a really smooth finish to our pudding. And then we have minced lamb suet. It's from our own abattoir again, and would come from the locality, the lambs that it comes from. And do you think this is, like, a lot of the flavour comes from this? A lot of it, yeah, and actually if you didn't have that in, the pudding would be quite dry. So it gives it kind of a moistness as well. Okay. Okay. So we'll try that in. It's great that you're making use out of all of the ingredients or the products that you actually get from your lamb and from your beef. All the offal goes nowadays because of the influx of people from different countries. They use an awful lot of lungs and hearts and livers, beef livers and everything else, so pretty much everything goes, yeah. Next we have oatmeal from some Waterford, same as it goes in the breakfast porridge. So very good for you? Very good for you again, yeah. Actually all the products that we put in are good for you, okay? This is actually wholemeal flour. Okay. Okay. And tell me a little bit more about the health benefits of the blood. Yeah, the blood is actually full of iron. And if you take a 100 grams piece of the pudding, it'll give you 200% of your recommended daily allowance of iron. So it's actually very, very good for you. So brilliant for pregnant women as well? Yeah. Anemic children. Anemic children? Yeah, exactly. Next, we just have milk. Okay. Okay. Ordinary full-fat milk, actually. Beautiful Irish milk. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then we have, I suppose, our secret ingredient, which is a blend of herbs and spices and salts and peppers. It's beautiful. So you could probably tell what's in that, but anyway. Well, I won't be telling you. I could guess. Okay. I don't know if I could tell. Just throw that in. And the last ingredient then is actually the breadcrumb. Okay. And it's brown breadcrumbs as well. It comes from a local bakery in Tralee. And what happens now? So next we're going to mix it all up together and we use this machine. for that, okay?
Okay.
That's basically it. All the ingredients are in, all mixed up, and that's ready to be poured into trays now, which we cook then for 2.5 hours.
So these must be the ingredients for the white pudding?
Yeah, yeah.
And what's the main difference between this and the black pudding?
The biggest difference is there's no blood in the white pudding. Okay, the main ingredient is actually cooked bacon as opposed to pork.
The bacon, is that like just regular bacon that we'd have for rashers?
The ends of bacon, say for, you know, if you cut rashers and there's maybe a piece of a back left or something like that, or the end of a gammon, it's all perfectly good bacon. We keep that and we cook it just for about 20 minutes to get the rawness out of it. After that then, a lot of the ingredients are the same, like the onions, the chopped onions, the oatmeal. Here we have soaked pearl barley. Okay?
Beautiful.
Here we have dried breadcrumb rusk. And here then there's another mixture of herbs and spices and salt and pepper on it, which is slightly different from the black pudding.
Okay, and do you put milk in this one as well?
No, we don't put milk in that, no.
So you also do other products as well, or?
We do a sausage, a traditional pork sausage, which is obviously made of pork, rusk, and there's water, and then there's a mixture of herbs, spices, salt, pepper.
And is that something that you'd love to develop more?
Absolutely, yeah. We'd love to develop more kind of speciality sausages in time to come, you know, like a lamb sausage and a beef sausage and even a gluten-free sausage and things like that. So eventually we'll get there.
Thank you for showing me around, Thomas. It was a pleasure to meet you.
You're more than welcome.